Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. If this is your very first time here, welcome. If you're watching this on BitChute, Rumble, or Odyssey, I want to thank all of you guys for your continued support and, of course, all the incredible support I get here from all my YouTube subscribers. Thank you to all of you for your continued support.
We start things off from AP News. CNN screenshot altered to add fake chyron about Putin and Biden. Claim. A screenshot shows a CNN chyron reading. Sources. Putin to delay invasion until Biden delivers weapons to Ukraine for Russia to capture. It's quite interesting. AP's assessment. Altered image. The text was added to a screenshot of a CNN news report from 2017. A CNN spokesperson confirmed the image was altered to add the fake chyron, which is quite interesting. The facts. Aim tensions over a possible Russian invasion of Ukraine. Social media users are sharing a screenshot of a CNN news report with a fabricated chyron. Well, that's kind of interesting because I didn't really see CNN go out there and actually try to do a lot of work. Actual CNN headline reads, one post with over 22,000 likes on Twitter, while some others noted that the caption was a joke and some weren't sure if it was real. Others shared it as an authentic CNN story. So it's basically trying to deal in the misinformation, disinformation campaign. But of course, CNN is not above making these sorts of changes for the purposes of getting those clicks and, of course, the views. And CNN, of course, is completely tanking in the ratings. And we'll get into that here momentarily. And as you can see here, it made it into Twitter earlier this week, where it says screenshot of CNN reporting on Russia and Ukraine has been altered. Fact checkers say. So you can see here a screenshot showing a CNN chyron, what I just read to you. And then, of course, AP's reflection and then response. Of course, they come out to defend each other. This would be something that you'd never see them do for, say, for example, Fox News. And here, speaking of which, so here we see CNN, who is always involved, if not always, mostly involved in sorts of clickbaity type posts and other things that they normally do. And you see they are still here on Twitter, so they're never going to face any sort of suspension or others. And as you can see here, their relentless Orange Man bad pursuit right here an hour ago just in, former President Trump, as well as his children, Ivanka and Donald Jr., must sit for depositions in the New York Attorney General's civil investigation of their business practices, a judge has ruled. So what's going to happen is they'll sit there and they'll go to this hearing and nothing will really come of it, and then the media will say nothing. This is all here to dangle and to score points for the left is what they do every single day, all day long, back and forth. And it is quite sad to see that they engage in this sort of thing. But also, of course, even more importantly, from Fox News. CNN changes headline comparing Joe Rogan's use of N-word to January the 6th. Yeah, so here we have it where CNN can make these changes. They can alter things. They can have people foment fake chyrons, if you will. But nonetheless, always keeping everyone off balance, unsure, not quite sure. But the whole purpose, of course, is to instigate or to dog whistle to their base, to instigate, and to just create an environment of chaos, disorder. And this is why I'm here, to help you guys understand, or I'm sure you guys do already, but have someone at least articulate what's going on so that you don't feel as though you're alone in this understanding, which is very basic common sense, that the mainstream media has a narrative that they try to push. And even when people can see it, nothing really happens to them via the social media. As you saw yesterday in yesterday's video that I did on Thursday, which was February the 17th, we go over some of the individuals that had their accounts banned and locked because of being involved with the trucker convoy. So here we see a CNN headline on Sunday compared Joe Rogan's use of the N-word in several episodes of his show to January the 6th. Before the outlet altered the headline by removing the analogy. Of course, this was just a hyperbolic move by CNN to get those clicks, to get those views, to get that volume. And like we talked about in yesterday's video on the convoy and the types of things that we see from the main platforms before they make changes, they always put their finger to the wind to see what direction the cancel culture, outrage mobs, and wokeness how they're going to react should they make the changes or reverse things, because of course they're there to basically pander to their base, which is these groups of individuals, these activists. So the article, which is classified as an analyst, is titled, "Joe Rogan's use of the N-word is another January 6th moment." The analyst opened by noting Rogan did not join a mob and rush and deface the Capitol, before nonetheless making the comparison. CNN has since changed the headline to read, "Why shrugging off Joe Rogan's use of the N-word is so dangerous." Why shrugging off, right? Because they need these things. They need the Capitol 6th event that happened. They need things like this from Joe Rogan because, of course, as we always talk about, popularity is their marker. It is their highest virtue. It is how they determine that society is accepting of their ideas, their philosophies, and worldview if it's popular. And if it's not popular, they try to make it popular by forcing narratives down people's throats. And if that requires shaming people, insulting people, demeaning people, bullying people to get them to do what they need to do, like Joe Biden and the vaccine mandates, which he was called out for by SCOTUS, lots of changes happening there. Then, of course, the reactions to the convoys there in Canada. We're seeing the left basically crumbling because these are grassroots people. These are everyday kind of individuals, blue-collar workers and so forth and so on, that are putting these activist groups together or are protesting, as opposed to, say, professional activists, those generated by George Soros, or assets by government that allow these individuals to go out there and protest, like we saw during the Trump administration, where Antifa and Black Bloc and BLM were allowed to pretty much just wreck and destroy entire cities with no prosecution, and many of them were just cut loose, and of course some of those were jailed, were let loose as well. So it's really interesting to see the direction that a lot of these platforms are going in, and the desperation of the mainstream media to maintain and hold on to their narrative, particularly when it's someone as popular as Joe Rogan. And of course, he has the whole deal with Spotify going on. And as we learned this week, surprisingly, Neil Young is now back on Spotify because the gamble that he took didn't work, or the gamble that his owners of his music took did not work. Neil Young this was all just them trying to hang out there, try to go with the flow of woke and cancel culture and the establishment to appease them with their narrative. And of course, that's what I have for you guys on this Friday.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments, because this year, 2022, we're going to show that algorithm that conservative talk is accepted here on YouTube, so people can get a better understanding of news and media across the spectrum without the filters and the bizarre language and confusion that is often presented by the media. And of course, if you're following on BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey, you guys have been amazing. Thank you for your support and the growth on those. If you guys haven't already, below this video, you can find the various social media links, or links to my social media below this, where I do daily posts. And of course, all of you here on YouTube, that would be the channel icon appearing right there on the screen to subscribe, along with notifications if you select that particular icon. Of course, that way you'll know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys right there behind that camera next week.